Hi everyone, I'm Cendril, and welcome back to Let's Play Command & Conquer Red Alert 3. As we continue through the tutorial missions for this episode, units and abilities. An overview of various military units and their unique special abilities. Your gateway to learning the strengths and vulnerabilities of all combat forces. And of course, our friends, the tanks, will talk about what we can expect this time.
Why, hello again, Commander. In this lesson, you're going to get acquainted with your units and some of the abilities that make them unique. Every unit in Red Alert 3 has some sort of special ability, in addition to its primary ability. The majority of your unit's primary abilities is to attack their targets. A unit's special ability may put a nasty status effect on an enemy, switch to an alternate weapon, or even transform into an entirely different unit.
Let us go over how to use special abilities now. Select that allied cryocopter, if you please. The cryocopter's special ability is the shrink beam. With the cryocopter selected, left-click on its special ability button in the bottom right of your screen, or press the F key. Notice that the shrink beam is a targeted special ability, which means you have to left-click on a target to use it. Other types of special abilities take effect as soon as you press the ability button. Now then, use the shrink beam on my good friend the Soviet Hammer tank.
Wait, what? No way, not me again!
Sorry, Hammerhead Tank.
Melting! Somebody...
As stated earlier, not all special abilities need to be targeted like the beam. Some abilities cause units to switch weapon modes. Blimey, that tank looks like he's lost control, and all you've got is an allied hydrofoil. Its primary weapon is an anti-air cannon that won't do you any good here. However, if you use its special ability, it'll switch from its gun to the weapon jammer. Select the hydrofoil now and ready the weapon jammer by left-clicking on its special ability button or hitting the F key.
Now you can see what type of unit, what type of type it is. Yeah, good speaking, Cendril. What type of modes you can go into? You see this one says toggle mode, which means you toggle it on and off. The other one was targeted ability, the cryocopter, and it said targeted ability. So you know what type it is.
Proper. Now, have your hydrofoil fire on that Soviet apocalypse tank on the shore.
And then we can toggle back to its anti-aircraft gun. So,
Let's take her out for a cruise.
the weapon jammer will do this.
So much for that tea party. As you can see, the apocalypse tank can no longer fire. Not so scary now, is he? So remember, even the toughest enemy units may be vulnerable to your lesser units' special abilities. Learn them all and never give up.
It's true.
If you're finished with your motivational speech, perhaps we can continue? Commander, let's go over a unit whose special ability is to transform. One basic example is the MCV, though let us take a look at a more exciting case in one of the Empire of the Rising Sun's versatile Mecha Tengu units. The Mecha Tengu is an amphibious, hovering anti-infantry unit that can transform into the Jet Tengu, a flying air superiority fighter. Not only does the transform ability affect how it navigates the battlefield, it also means the unit changes from having anti-ground weapons to anti-air weapons. Select the Mecha Tengu and use its special ability.
Very versatile Mecha Tengu is right. So, right now it's in its anti-infantry robot form. But when we switch it to jet mode, it becomes basically a fighter, taking down other aircraft units.
Impressive, no? Now,
Really cool.
order your Jet Tengu to destroy that miserable cryocopter. And don't worry, it is merely a training robot carefully disguised to look like a real vehicle.
Of course.
Watch this!
And now it'll shoot down the cryocopter. Pretty neat,
No
right?
robots are going to get past you, Commander. You should know there are some units at your disposal whose primary ability either isn't a weapon at all, or will change depending on what you tell it to attack. For example, each faction has its own type of engineer unit, like this swarthy fellow over here. Engineers are special units that can capture any enemy structure or neutral tech structure. Much like with moving or attacking, you can select your engineer and right-click on a capturable structure. That'll make him go after it. Look, there seems to be an oil derrick you can capture out in the water. Oil derricks are neutral tech structures that provide additional income. Go get it.
Engineers are a very useful unit. Like they said, the engineer can take over enemy structures and make them yours. Then you can do whatever you want to with the structure. You can use it, or you can sell it for cash.
Might be useful.
Go engineer! So our friendly engineer can get in his raft, which is cool. Head over and
Off he goes.
take the...
Note that engineers are amphibious, so they automatically
Order.
switch to a keen aquatic form when they get to water. Not all units are amphibious, of course. Notice you can issue capture commands into the fog of war, assuming the structure is still there when you get to it.
Hey, where did that engineer go anyway? Ow!
He went into the structure, you fool, and there he shall remain forever. For that is the way of the engineer.
You may have
It
noticed
is the way of
that
the
when you
engineer.
highlighted that enemy structure with your engineer selected, your cursor changed to a garrison cursor. That garrison cursor indicates a structure you can enter. Your basic infantry can't garrison enemy structures or neutral tech structures like the engineer can, but they can garrison civilian structures such as hotels and houses.
Fear not, for civilians have long since abandoned such structures once they heard we were coming.
When infantry garrison these structures, they receive extra protection, as the building they're in will take damage instead of the units themselves, should they come under fire. Garrisoning your units into civilian structures is a good tactic, both from an offensive and a defensive perspective. It helps to secure locations, force enemies to take an alternate path, or give your units more cover near to your base should the enemy send a force to destroy you. Now garrison that nearby structure by issuing a move order onto it whilst having some peacekeepers selected.
There's the garrison cursor, by the way, as you can see. Really neat. Garrisoning structures will help a lot. You see how this house has 5 of these slots? That's how many
Hearing building.
that's how many of your troops can go into it. Watch as they fill up.
Good, they're in. And here comes trouble.
More robots. Now our peacekeepers don't take damage. The house will take
As you
damage.
can see, those enemy training robots fired upon the structure rather than directly at your peacekeepers. Watch out though, because each faction has ways of clearing out garrison structures.
The Allies and Empire can try rushing their peacekeepers or Imperial warriors into a garrison structure, while the Soviet conscripts can use their Molotov cocktails.
Of course, you could just blow the structures up if you cannot be bothered by such details.
Now, let's say you need to get your peacekeepers out of the structure. Just select the structure and use the evacuate command, just like using a special ability on a unit. Do this now.
Evacuate structure. Instant effect. And they leave. In a calm, orderly fashion, as it said.
Some of your units can also be garrisoned by your infantry. The multi-gunner IFV is a unique allied vehicle whose weapon takes on the characteristics of whichever infantry unit hops inside. Order one of your peacekeepers into that IFV and watch what happens.
The IFV is a very versatile unit because, like it said, infantry fighting vehicle, by the way, is what IFV stand for, will change depending on what type of infantry jumps inside.
Multi-gunner.
As a base, the multi-gunner IFV is, like it says, a jack-of-all-trades vehicle, and it comes with these rockets. However, let's throw a peacekeeper inside. Watch as the weapons change.
If I may, normally the IFV's weapon works best against aircraft, but once you garrisoned your peacekeeper into it, it changed into an anti-infantry weapon. While the IFV can only contain 1 infantry unit at a time, other vehicles can hold more, and can transport your infantry around the battlefield. For example, the Riptide ACV is admittedly a good transport for getting infantry quickly and safely from one point to another, although infantry cannot fire out of it. Garrison your remaining infantry into the Riptide now.
The Riptide Aquatic Combat Vehicle is, or ACV for short, can, one, go in the water, and two, help your other units, your other infantry, get to where they need to go.
Tactical unit.
So we put them inside. It's basically a transport
Now that
unit.
they're garrisoned, let's move your Riptide across this lake and over to the shore on the other side. Look for the marker on the radar.
Over here.
Yeah.
Riptides are a special type of unit in that they're amphibious, meaning they can traverse both land and water. As my comrade said, not all units are amphibious, so it's good to make note of the ones that are. Some units behave differently on land and water. For instance, when your Riptide is on water, its torpedo tubes open to give it additional firepower. Now that you've made it to the other side, let's get those peacekeepers out. All transports have the not-so-special ability to evacuate their passengers. Use the evacuate ability now.
Not so special, but handy. Else, they would just be stuck in there, your infantry, and that wouldn't be any good. Like it said, a lot of units will work this way, that they act differently depending on certain situations, such as the Riptide ACV. When on land, it can still fire its machine gun, which will help protect it from other infantry. But on the sea, it's actually more formidable and can fire out its gun plus torpedo tubes to give it some additional punch. But the main thing the ACV is a transport, so let's go ahead and get the peacekeepers out.
Finally, let us discuss contextual attacks. A contextual attack is what you get when your cursor changes to something other than a normal attack cursor. Select the allied commando who has showed up so very unexpectedly.
Yeah, hi Tanya. This is Tanya, the allied commando. We'll be seeing quite a bit of her in the allied campaign.
Hey, what's up?
This Agent Tanya has different ways of attacking targets depending on the type of target. When you order her to attack enemy infantry, such as these lifelike robots, your cursor will be that of a normal attack cursor. However, when you highlight an enemy vehicle or structure, you get a demolition cursor. When ordered to demolish a target, Tanya will move very close to the target, set some charges, and blow it up. This is an example of a contextual attack. Go ahead and dispose of those forces using the commando.
Now you may be a little scared because she's alone. And there are quite a few enemies. Don't worry, commandos are really strong. Not invincible, they can still be taken out quite a few ways. But against infantry like this, it'll be no sweat for Agent Tanya here.
Hey you, wait up!
As you can see, she dual wields pistols, which is awesome. Bye!
No sweat. Later, chump.
As I should
C4
attack
coming
move.
through.
And there's blowing up the structure. As you can see, she took care of the infantry really fast.
Other units, such as our allied spies like this one here, also have contextual attacks. Select the spy, then use his contextual attack on one of those enemy training dummies. Now who's the dummy, am I right? As you can see, the spy's primary ability is to disguise himself as the enemy. Alternatively, if you highlight an enemy structure, you can try to infiltrate it to disrupt the enemy's base.
Infiltration has different effects depending on which type of structure is infiltrated. Experiment with all the possibilities. Incidentally, the Empire of the Rising Sun Shinobi unit may also infiltrate structures. Only the tactless Soviets lack an infiltrator.
Oh! But why?
Come on, lads, we have to get through this. Commander, that's the end of this lesson. See you in the next one.
Yay, confetti! So, there you go. Poor Soviet. Yeah, just kind of shakes. Alright, Next, let's move on to support powers. An overview of top secret protocols. Special commander abilities authorized for use in battle. Master these abilities to keep the odds in your favor. These are special abilities we'll have as the commander. We'll have to unlock them, of course. And the Hammerhead tank just rolls right through that gate. No problem. That fence.
Why, hello, Commander. In this particular lesson, we're going to be covering top secret protocols and how to use them, as well as the threat meter and some other heavy stuff. To begin with, let's have a look at this here base. Let's say you're low on credits. If at any point you decide that you no longer want a structure that you've placed, you may sell it. To sell a structure, left-click on the sell button under your radar, then left-click on the structure you wish to sell. Right-clicking cancels out of sell mode. Try selling one of those power plants now.
Okay. And then you just click on it. Click. Wants me to sell this one in particular. You can see the cursor change. And sell. And you get some money back.
It was a good power plant. But you can build another. Don't go crazy selling everything. What would your friends think if you failed a tutorial mission?
All of you would laugh at me, I'm sure.
Hey, quit it!
Relax, friend. I was just about to explain to the commander here how to repair. It's pretty important. To repair a damaged structure, left-click on the repair button under your radar. Then left-click on your construction yard. Give it a go.
You can also use the button in parentheses. So in this example, C to go to repair mode. And there we go. Now it will repair.
You'll notice that the repair icon has appeared on your construction yard, indicating that it's undergoing repairs. Structures can only repair as long as you have sufficient funds. You may notice that as your structure is repairing, your credits are slowly trickling down.
Now then, let's talk about top secret protocols.
Top secret protocols is just a fancy term for special support powers you can use. These will affect the battlefield, your enemies, and your units and structures. Basically, they can get you out of a pinch. Keep in mind, you need your construction yard intact in order to use them.
Each faction has its own set of protocols which can be offensive or defensive in nature, sometimes both. As you progress through a battle, you gradually earn security points which you can use to access new protocols. Progress towards your next security point is indicated by the meter surrounding the top secret protocols button on your screen. The number in the button is your current number of security points.
Now, let's go over how to access your protocols. Left-click the top secret protocols button or press the tilde hotkey to the left of the 1 key to bring up a menu of all the dirty tricks you can use. As you can see, this menu has like 15 different protocols to choose from. The protocols are ranked by levels, so to access protocols further down the list, you need to access the ones above them first.
As mentioned earlier, there are different types of protocols. There are offense-oriented protocols such as Surgical Strike, which can damage enemy forces. There are more tactical protocols such as Chrono Rift, which can protect your units or split enemy forces. And then there are upgrade protocols that provide passive bonuses, such as Advanced Aeronautics, which toughens up all those weak little allied aircraft. Unlike offensive and tactical protocols, upgrade protocols take effect immediately once acquired and do not need to be activated manually.
Each protocol costs 1 security point. Now, go get Surveillance Sweep from your top secret protocols menu.
So we now have 1 point of top secret protocols. And more will unlock as we go through the campaign. You don't start with all the top secret protocols at your disposal, of course. And we will grab, with our 1 point, the Surveillance Sweep. Field Recon. See what your enemies are hiding. Select 2 points on the map to sweep along that line. And confirm.
Well, sir. Looks like you've been cleared to use Surveillance Sweep. What an occasion. All protocols available to you will appear on the left-hand side of your screen. To use Surveillance Sweep, first left-click on it. Now you need to select a target location for the sweep. This one's a little dodgy because you then have to select a second location to plot a trajectory. So, left-click once, then again someplace else in the area near the edge of the screen. Give it a go.
So, we will do just that. We're going to surveillance sweep, starting here, and going all the way to here.
See that? Make sure to have a look at the notes written next to each protocol, so you're aware of what you're signing up for before you pick one of these. By the way, the protocols available to you are determined solely by the faction you're commanding. So even if you pull a stunt like capturing an enemy conyard, doesn't mean their top brass will open the kimono on their military secrets. Makes sense, yeah?
Next, we'll talk about the threat meter, which gives you an impression of how much death and destruction is happening all around you in a given moment. The threat meter increases in battle, especially when you sustain heavy casualties. And the higher it is, the faster you earn new security points. Higher levels of threat also influence how quickly your units gain combat veterancy. The higher the threat, the faster your units will become great heroes from killing foes. Veteran units display a little chevron. They're better at killing enemies, and once they achieve heroic status, they automatically regenerate to boot.
Watch how one of your units gains veterancy by mowing down droves of hostile targets.
So, there's one chevron. You can see it. There's two chevrons. And then there's the star, which means it's a heroic unit.
Heroic forces like these can make a huge difference, so best keep them around. Speaking of which, what sort of commotion over there?
Robots!
It appears you are under attack. Take advantage of your high threat meter and vet up your forces while using some of your top secret protocols to assist you. Fear not, for this is only a simulation involving lifelike robots.
Oh, now it's on! Try to build up enough forces to stop your enemy's invasion, then take those units to the enemy's base and destroy it.
Remember, you also have access to your top secret protocols to help you take down your enemy. Ow! Whatever. Figure it out for yourself then.
Alright, destroy the enemy base using what we've learned.
How are ya? Plant the foot, will ya?
So, we're gonna actually have to play a little bit, and we're gonna gain a ton of top secret points. So, let's have some fun. Advanced aeronautics. Whoops, I clicked cancel. Confirm. And we'll get all of those. Okay. Let's use some of our abilities that we've got. We'll also build a few units that I'll show off. Let's build... I need heightened clearance from the construction yard. We'll do that. Now, we're not going to take any damage, so that's okay. We also have a boot camp over here. Let's build some peacekeepers. And set them over here.
Ready, sir. Where's the trouble?
We'll also make some of our Guardian tank here. Stalwart battle tanks that can effectively repel enemy armor and pinpoint vulnerabilities. We'll build some of those. They give you plenty of cash to play around with. We'll also have some fun.
On alert. Ready, sir. Cleared for engagement.
Guardian tank, awaiting deployment.
Standing by. Peace out. Ready, sir. Where's the trouble?
Peace out. Ha, because it's a peacekeeper. We'll also have some fun
Ready, sir. Where's the trouble?
with our special abilities. We have the Surgical Strike. Call in an Artemis Precision Bomber to take out a big chunk, out of the target of your choice.
Where's the trouble?
Guardian tank, awaiting deployment.
So let's Surgical Strike this thing.
Ready, sir. Where's the trouble?
Boom. Now you can see it has a cooldown. Whenever the gray goes away, you can use your power again. Whenever it lights back up. We also have Chrono Swap. Cause any two of your units to switch places instantly. Think of the possibilities. You can have a lot of fun with this one. So,
Guardian tank, good to go.
let's move some of our Guardian tanks. And I'll just show off Chrono Swap, like so. That unit goes there, and the Guardian tank is back. A fun little trick to do with this is if you could get some of your units inside a base to quickly chrono swap in an engineer and take something. Because engineers don't take many hits. Now, I chose these in particular. Chrono Fissure. Make everything in a large area around this scientific anomaly vanish for some time. And it just goes away. Watch. Bye.
What's the situation?
That way you can go hit stuff. Because they're not there.
Neutralize them.
Could we be of help, sir? Oh, the lads have been waiting for
And
this, sir.
you can have some time hitting other things.
Come on now!
Who's next? That's affirmative. Talk to me.
But we'll move everybody back
Scan
to show off
perimeter.
one final ability. Probably my favorite one. Supreme Time Bomb. Materialize a short-fused, unbelievably explosive package at designated point. Let's do it here. See, it even has a happy face. Happy face! It's a happy face bomb. Hi! After some time, it's going to explode. Now, there are other top secret protocols. You can only choose so many because you only get so many points. Have a nice day! Doing high damage to anything around it. Pretty cool. Let's blow you up. Top secret protocols can really help you out in a bind. And there are other protocols as well. But let's take these base units and wipe out the enemy. I'll save some of the more advanced units for later. So we'll just take the Guardian tank, which we've seen, the IFV, and our Peacekeepers. I see this Peacekeeper took some damage and is gone now. But they'll gain some veterancy, and you can see our units actually being damaged now.
Waste them. Contact.
Take out this big reactor.
You had enough?
Which you need to see.
What's on the agenda?
Yes, I did that on purpose. You need to know this now. When that big reactor gets destroyed, it explodes because it's a nuclear reactor or something equivalent to that. Yeah, be very careful.
That's him. Line him up. What's it gonna be? Well,
But there's not that many units left, so it'll be okay. Let's build a few more.
Come on, boys. Coming.
We'll build a few more Peacekeepers to help take care of the rest of the stuff.
Someone's a little cheesed off. We've got company.
But yes, be very careful with those big reactors.
Ready, sir. Where's the trouble?
And then there's
Ready, sir.
max
Where's the
clearance,
trouble?
which is the biggest clearance. We should probably build a
Ready, sir.
few more
Where's the
Guardian
trouble?
tanks as well. And that's this tutorial mission. As you can see, because this unit is a heroic unit with the star, it has refilled its HP. This is why
Sir, where's the trouble?
the veteran units could be really helpful.
Ready, sir. Where's the trouble?
It'll blow up the construction yard eventually.
Guardian tank awaiting deployment.
Tactical
Okay.
unit.
Let's go ahead and get
Settle
going.
this.
Guardian tank awaiting deployment.
If you're like, you can just strike one, but if you strike here, you get two. Look for the way to do the most damage with your special abilities. Now, as you can see, the tanks don't do too well against infantry. They're better at taking out other tanks.
Keeping the peace.
Now, your units will not automatically attack buildings. You have to tell them to do that yourself. Units, however, they'll swing at.
Tango's dead ahead. Take him down.
And that's that.
Smashing work, Commander. You're now one step closer to becoming a serious threat out there. We're done with this lesson. See you in the next one, alright?
Yay, confetti! And there's your explanation over top secret protocols. The 3 different factions will have 3 different lines like that. And you'll unlock them as you go through the campaign. You only start with the few and then more and more unlock. They can really help save you from a bad situation. Or you can be really crafty with them and do a lot of damage or take out hard defenses or just a lot of stuff. They're really handy. Next time we'll be going over advanced tactics. And then your co-commander, and that will end the tutorial. We can get into the campaign, which will be a lot of fun. Again, if you played the game before, you could just wait until the tutorials are over. Although I kind of need to say that at the end of the last episode, or kind of at the beginning of the first episode, because, well, you're probably not watching this anyway. But the campaign's awesome. Trust me on that. This is just going over the tutorial. So you all that don't know anything about Red Alert 3 and Command & Conquer, don't feel completely lost. So I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned some stuff. Like I said, next time we'll do Advanced Tactics and your co-commander. Hopefully all in one episode. And then we can get started on the campaigns. So until then, I'm Cendril 9. Remember to shoot for the stars, and take care, everyone.